If you want to get an arranged marriage, these next years might be the last ones where this is still an option. In 2016, 90% of Indian marriages were arranged. Then 2018 it was only 60 to 70%, and now in 2023 it's only around 45%. Already the young people, 70% of Gen Z says they don't want an arranged marriage. Why is that? There are pros and also cons of arranged marriage, and in this video I want to go through them and mention the three most important factors on both sides. On the pro side, I think the most important factor that makes arranged marriage a very attractive option for people is that it takes away a lot of the work. A young person can just focus on settling into their jobs and making their life comfortable, while this work of finding a compatible partner amongst hundreds of millions of people out there is taken care of for you. The second reason why arranged marriage is actually quite wise is that it acknowledges the fact that you're never going to be perfectly happy with that partner. Relationships will never be perfect, and you will never find someone who's 100% compatible. And so in arranged marriage systems, people acknowledge that whether you're 80 or 90 or 95% compatible doesn't make a huge difference. In the end, you'll always have to do work to make it work in the long run. And arranged marriages just force you to do that more quickly. And they force you to do it with less outside options. It's not that easy to break out of an arranged marriage because the whole family is involved. So it limits your outside options, but thereby strengthens the commitment inside the relationship to do the work that is needed. Third, the arranged marriage system allows people to marry early. When you're 20, 21, 22, you're not really able to make a very wise choice about who you want to spend the rest of your life with. And so in those societies, it's just done for you by elders, by people who are more wise, who have more life experience than you. And they say, hey, we could actually make a better choice than you can yourself. And here you are, you have someone that you can grow along with. And even though you're both still young, you can start making things work and start a family much earlier, have more children, have healthier children than in the West, where people try to figure it out for themselves and take a decade or two to reach that point. But of course there are strong reasons against arranged marriage, and that's probably why it's threatened by extinction right now. First, when you get an arranged marriage, you might end up with someone who is not compatible at all. There are some basic criteria like chemistry, emotional connection, and a lot of arranged marriages, they work for a long time, but just because people are forced to stay together, the people have nothing in common and it's a big drama. If you don't want to run the risk of ending up in that situation, it's not an option for you to get an arranged marriage. Second, of course, you might just want to experience a few different kinds of scenarios, different kinds of partnerships before you settle and decide on what kind of person you want and what kind of relationship you want. And with arranged marriage, there's not a lot of space for that kind of experimentation. Obviously, being in love, dating, romance is something very beautiful. And if you want that to happen a few more times than just once, you might have to choose to go the harder path of exploring options for yourself. And third, when you give away that choice of who you're going to spend your life with, obviously that reduces your agency, it reduces your feeling of being a responsible human who makes their own choices. And if that's something that's important for you, you can't afford to give such an important decision out of your hands. It would feel like you're a child who doesn't know what's good and bad for themselves and needs parents or family to decide for them. And sometimes parents will be only supportive, but sometimes parents and family have their own interests. And if you are willing to give that choice away, you can become the victim of manipulation, of people following their own interest at the expense of your quality of life. So in the end, it depends on how much you value agency, freedom, individual expression. If you think that these things are important to you, then you have no choice but to go the modern path of exploring and getting to know people on your own and making your own decisions when it comes to love and dating. This channel is all about exploring this topic of how to find love and connection, especially for people with cultural baggage like myself. So if you want to know more about that topic, hit the subscribe button. You're not alone in this. Great to be in touch.